The Qantas chief executive has offered a passionate defence of his airline, his conduct and his own record. Alan Joyce today faced a parliamentary inquiry to answer questions about his decision to ground the airline last weekend. The CEO says it was his only choice, but he's again apologised to customers and tried to steer clear of the political fight over who's to blame for the mess. Hayden Cooper reports from Canberra.
I'm not running away from this. I'm absolutely here talking about the decision I've made, why I've made the decision, why I feel passionate about the decision I've made. And I'm happy to defend that and talk about that under any forum, anywhere, because it was the right call.
That's good, because I think you've got a lot of explaining to do as to why you're a rogue employer.
Pretty angry? Yeah, pretty angry.
At Parliament House, Alan Joyce is a hero to some, but a villain to many others. So today was always going to be a day of reckoning.
Because this is one of the biggest calls that have been made by corporate Australia to actually destroy parts of the economy to get your way.
But you're very obscure and devious about the fact that you're aiming at a lockout.
Sorry, Senator, I think that's absolutely inappropriate to say. We were very clear on our approach all the way through.
You're a bit like Richard Nixon at the moment. You're just trying to talk your way out of this. Don't do it, please.
You're a bit like a McCarthy trial, you know.
For all the attacks thrown at him, this is a CEO determined to give as good as he gets. Alan Joyce is unmoved by the criticism of his actions last weekend. He told his inquisitors he had no other choice.
That was the last resort, and it will always be the last resort. Grounding an airline like Qantas is a huge decision, and it's a decision done because we had nowhere else to go.
And the committee learned it was a move Mr Joyce made on his own. Approval of the Qantas board came later.
The decision was a board endorsement. It was my decision.
You made a decision on your own?
Yes.
Using your discretion?
Yes.
Using your delegated authority?
Yes.
So for a momentous decision to ground the entire fleet,
yep,
to stand down 27,000 or 27,000 employees, that was all on your head?
That was my decision, absolutely.
When did the Leader of the Opposition know?
The Qantas grounding lit up the Parliament all week, and even today the argument persists over whether the government should have read the warning signs from the airline chief before last Saturday.
Well, he certainly never mentioned to any of the ministers in our government that he was contemplating an extreme action of locking out the whole of the Qantas workforce.
The problem here is that the government is excruciatingly embarrassed about the fact that it could have stopped this.
So what did Alan Joyce have to say about who was told what, when?
At no stage did I talk to anybody about lockout. I talked about the grounding of the fleet and talking about the grounding of the airline as a possibility. We didn't talk to anybody on either side of politics about a lockout.
You deceived them by not saying you were aiming at a lockout, didn't you?
I don't agree with that, Senator.
And on Saturday afternoon?
The government did not ask for extra time or for you to delay the course of action that you had indicated to them.
Nobody asked for any extra time, but nor was it suggested by me, in fairness.
Alan Joyce did not have to do what he did on Saturday. This was a reckless decision, but a decision that had been well planned. Who believes in fairy tales that he woke up Saturday morning and just had a brain snap? A brain snap that cost this country the shutdown of its airline.
The CEO does have one regret. Qantas kept selling tickets for 3.5 hours after the grounding was announced.
Senator, it was a mistake because it again shows you that even with all of the planning we've done, and we've done a lot of planning, we did miss this one.
Fate can intervene at the strangest of times. As the committee ground on, a Qantas A380 en route to London was diverted safely to Dubai. Pilots had shut down an engine due to an oil pressure problem. For the flying kangaroo, there's turbulence in the air and trouble on the ground.
Alan Joyce, a man under pressure. Hayden Cooper with that report.